today on a rainy day. But for a heck of a day for a Main Street tour. We're going to get a little bit wide. I know we're going to go to some of the other businesses here in town. Yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate you coming out. I always like coming back to Rochester. I mentioned we were at the opening here a week or two ago. The fact that my family's been in Rochester for a lot of years. Back in the 1840s is when they first settled here. And I really like this place because my great-great-grandfather is sitting there in front of his house. It's actually my great-father. Yeah. So this is Julian Peters, who is my great-great-grandfather. He was Justice of the Peace. So I felt Jim here. It says Justice Court. So that's court. I don't think he holds court on the rocking chair. He probably does that inside. We had Sam, and he actually owned this building here too. We have other photos I've seen where it was a carriage shop, and he would repair carriages. And I think he was a real entrepreneur. He did whatever he could to make a living. So he was my great-great-grandfather, and his son, my grandfather, was a horse trainer here in Rochester. It actually was the railroad conductor on the interurban railroad that used to come right down Main Street. I think it was up to the war, maybe the Second World War. It was pulled out, and he would be the conductor going down to Detroit back and forth. So it's really very special here to be here on Main Street. And then I worked when I was in the financial business, like Diane is, for 22 years here in Rochester. First down 3rd Street there with Payne Lumber, and then down at the other end, which is down, I think it's the bank. At the very end is where we were, the Crispin building. So we moved into the Crispin building after they had a big explosion. It blew up, and then they rebuilt it, and so it's beautiful. It's gorgeous building. But the reason I wanted to be here, and we're doing this in other communities as well, we're going to go into Farmington and Birmingham the next 2 days as well, is to just hear firsthand from the challenges that our small businesses are facing down here in Michigan, and the work that you're doing, and the development that you see as well, and attracting business. The mayor, you're a passionate booster for Rochester and bringing businesses to make sure that we have vibrant small businesses here. As you know, 2 out of every 3 jobs is created in small businesses. And my job in Washington is to make sure we create an environment that helps the entrepreneurs and small businesses. You are the job creators. We don't create jobs in Washington, despite some of the rhetoric that the jobs are created here on Main Street, created in our small businesses. We've got to create that environment. And that's really, to me, a big part of what the Wall Street Reform Bill is right now that we have. And I've worked a great deal on that as a member of the Financial Services Committee, is that Wall Street Reform is really not about Wall Street. It's really about Main Street. It's about making sure we get back to our roots, and Wall Street is there to help raise money efficiently and capital to invest in American businesses, help small businesses get the loans that they need. It's an issue that I've been working on a great deal, which I can talk about. And also we have to make sure we've got a tax environment and other things that can move small businesses forward. The only way we're going to get out, in my mind, the only way we're going to get out of the economic troubles that we're in right now in Michigan is by helping him and others create those businesses. But I really wanted to hear from you. I don't want to be the one talking here. That's just a setup as to things that I need to know, things that could be helpful to you, what would be helpful here in the city of Rochester, anything we can do to be helpful. So with that, let's just have a informal discussion. So you were talking about lending was an issue for you, and others you want to pick that up.
Well, I'm just saying that this restaurant, I didn't need any money, but my 3 other daughters, they would kind of want another restaurant by themselves. So out of the paper systems.
Your own place.
So that will be, I'll need money for that. I mean, you know, to get another business going. And I've always paid my bills. I don't know why I can't get a loan. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's where I would say would be somewhere needed. You know, almost a guarantee that you'll get a low interest loan to start another business as long as you're paying.
I mean, you're current and you got a good credit history. Right. Normally that would be enough.
Right.
It's not the case now.
Right. No. And all the housing's down, so you can't even borrow on your house because it's in the dumps, you know. So so you have to basically go on a handshake that you'll pay it back, you know. So that's where I need that. And red tape. I mean, don't make it last 6 months before you get an chance or whether you can get the money or not. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, if you see something, you want to jump on it right away. I mean, you can't just...
Clients have never seen so much red tape in my life. This is before the crisis. It was, now they don't even try it at all.
Right.
But before, when you went to great credit,
right.
The red tape would take 6-9 months to find out now.
Right. Or, sure, well, that building's gone now, that you wanted to rent or buy or whatever. I mean, I think that's number one, too. I mean, red tape, you got to jump through a lot of hoops. You don't have time to do that. If you're running your own business and you want to...
It costs you money, time is money.
Right.
Especially when you're not generating revenue, that's true.
Right.
So, I hear this, unfortunately, this story so often. Successful businesses with good and growing book of business. Actually, one of my colleagues on the council has an automotive marketing company. He picked up an account from Chrysler that would double the size of his business, and he needed working capital to be able to do that. He actually had to go basically get something, and he's paying near factoring rates on a business expansion. And he was able, I think, to pull it off, but it's a real example of from small business to mid-sized businesses, it's incredibly difficult to access capital. And particularly, I've heard stories about if you're in the automotive industry and in Michigan and the Midwest more generally, there was some discussion, you probably know the facts on this much better than I do, Gary, but there was talk of banks setting up special centers to exit loans in Michigan and other Rust Belt states. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard it enough times to believe that there may be something to it. So really being able to start or to grow a business and create those jobs is critical to our economic recovery, and to the extent that companies with successful track records need loans, that's a real problem.
Well, the real problem is the line of credit that you have based on the way it's always been. For example, we have clients for an advertising agency. We sometimes pay out our production bills on a commercial before we deliver the commercial, and then we get paid. So we're putting a lot of cash out front. What happened in the past was we would use our line of credit based on receivables. So the client would say, this is how much we're going to pay you. We have receivable. We go to the bank and say, here's receivable, give us a loan against that. What the banks traditionally did is those clients, a lot of times they go 60, 90, 120 days. The banks would ride with us and say, okay, we're gonna be fine with that. We know it's a large organization. They're gonna pay you someday. We'll count it. Although on paper they didn't have to, they did. Now, as of the last year, the bank came to us and said, past 30 days, if that client doesn't pay you, we don't count that as part of your line of credit. And we're not gonna count that. We're gonna pull your line. And so when we need the money most, and the client's paying behind, now we become the bank. The bank will give them the loan, our clients. So now the client's going to use us as the bank. And so we have to carry a large amount of cash just to win business. And so if you don't have a lot of cash, you're not going to be able to enter the business. And only the established companies are going to be around in this current climate. I don't know how I would have started the business I've started if I were to start it today. I don't think I could do it. But someone's out there trying. I don't know how they're going to deal with this current climate.
It's interesting because we have 2 stores, one in Berkeley and one in Rochester. And one in Berkeley's been around for 10 years. And I remember, like in the first 5 years of having that store, the local bank would just sort of court us. Oh, let me tell you about what we can loan you. And I was a pretty conservative business owner, and we never really entertained that. And over time, we did go ahead and get a line of credit, just as it's a good padding. It happens. Fourth quarter is really big for us. We really ramp up all our gifts because it's Christmas time. We do a lot more inventory than we normally do. And we have used it, just a couple times. And we get it back within 30 days after that because the Christmas rush, you get flush with money and pay it back. And as of recently, our local bank has been merged or bought out by a larger bank. And we just got a letter in the mail saying, hey, just let you know, we're still going to, do this line of credit for you. However, it is going to get for review. And might be full, And once again, I'm really fortunate to operate with a lot of padding, and we do that intentionally. However, not everybody has that luxury. So that's sort of frustrating.